knows movies the best. Me and my friend are predicting the Oscars winners, but with a twist. It is a game where you get to see the results and our reactions to who won in each category. We're gonna start off the game going round by round, 20 rounds, with who we think will win each award at the Oscars this year and who we personally would vote for. Not only are we playing the game, not only are we making predictions, not only are you getting our reactions, you're gonna get some absolute hot takes on all the best movies from this award season. Grab your drinks, grab your popcorn, because we're about to find out who knows movies better, the mentor or the newbie. So, just real quick introduction, because some of you guys don't know who this is, but this guy's going to be on the channel probably more than anybody else. Is going to be our most frequent. He's not even a guest. He's part of the channel, guys. This is Zach. And he's the guy that got me into the movies. This channel exists because of Zach, so you should thank him if you like this.
You're welcome.
Okay, so now it's time for our Oscar prediction, Zach. So first up, we're going to hit actor in a supporting role. So we're going to do prediction and who you would have voted for if you're like part of the Academy. Who do you think's going to win?
I have Stellan Skarsgård.
Yep,
for supporting actor. I'll explain why in a little bit when I say who I think should win, because this is not who I would pick.
Okay,
but I think it's who's going to win.
Okay, well, I said the same thing.
Okay.
He was too good in that movie. The movie was great, and everyone was solid. Like, no one was bad in that movie. Most of my already known of him and watching him is Marvel and Star Wars.
Yep.
I've seen him in other stuff, but this was just like, he's good in those, especially in Andor, but this was just like, in my opinion, a whole nother level.
Incredible. I think I personally would still take Andor, but I get it. It's an amazing performance. He is an amazing actor. He deserves it.
If you're voting, you're part of the Academy, who you voting for?
Yeah, so this alternate universe where I'm lucky enough to vote in the Academy.
Exactly.
I am voting for Sean Penn. I thought he was the best supporting actor of the year. He's not going to win, though. I have one reason why I think he's not going to win. So he already has 2 Oscars, and there's only 6 people in history, and I'll read those off for you. That's Daniel Day-Lewis, Frances McDormand, Meryl Streep, Jack Nicholson, Ingrid Bergman, and Walter Brennan. So some incredible actors. They are the only ones who have 3. He's not in that category.
No.
So they're not going to do that.
I didn't realize that was... Yeah, there's literally no reason for him to get it. And here's what's funny, Zach. I thought Skarsgård was so good that my vote is for Skarsgård. And you know how much I loved Sean Penn in that movie. Literally, I've been saying, love him. I love him. Non-stop, dude.
Watch
and
y'all.
I will say it right now, right here. The scene where he's... Oh yeah, guys, spoilers. Super duper spoilers for every single movie talked about here, basically.
Pause if you've not seen this movie and go watch it immediately.
Agreed. The part where he's coming over the horizon and they're playing I can't remember, I looked it up, I have it in my playlist, but the song it's playing, he's just his walk. I'm like, that's literally, and I know this is super extreme to say, it's one of my favorite scenes in the history of cinema. Yeah, I just want to make sure he got a nod though. Even though I wouldn't have voted for him, he needed a nod because, was he the best villain in film this year?
For me, it's not even close. Yeah, it's not even close for me.
Was Weapons? Was she?
She was very good, but I think he was better.
That's probably your top.
Amy Madigan, really, really good. Scared me to death. She's like absolutely psychotic in that movie. But I think he was better.
Skarsgård, I don't know. We'll see. Reaction time. He's not there.
Sean Penn.
And he's not there.
He's not even there.
They're so mad.
Sean Penn won and he's not even there. I mean, I'm happy because I do like Sean Penn. I thought his performance was great.
Wow. Sean, man, you're crazy for that.
That's awkward.
It's so disrespectful to all the other nominees, too.
Yep. Don't love that, Shawnee boy. So next, animated feature film. So this one, in my opinion, isn't very close at all. It's, in my opinion, it's one above all. And I'm going, my prediction is K-pop Demon Hunters. I think it broke way too many records. Like Zootopia 2 and some of the others were good. I think K-pop Demon Hunter is gonna be so culturally relevant for basically ever.
Yep.
That it's like, I think that it deserves the award. And I think that the Academy realizes that as well. In my opinion, I could be wrong. But in my opinion, I think it will get the votes because people will think about that when they're voting.
It could set a precedent. It really could. I mean, Sony Animation, they're cooking. You know, they keep doing amazing things. I say K-pop as well. I think it's pretty one-sided too. It's not who I would vote for, as we'll get to in a second.
Okay.
But it is K-pop. I think the soundtrack alone really just pushed it over the edge because Zootopia, all the other nominees, because I think Zootopia is really the one that's closest. Nowhere near the same soundtrack, nowhere near the same cultural impact. You can make an argument for Zootopia too because of box office. But it's just not the same. Also, who knows? Netflix doesn't do box office. Maybe K-pop made more, for all we know, if it had been in theaters.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. That is a good point. But like when I say the cultural relevant, it's very likely that this is like, I'm trying to even like compare to like our generation. So we were both born 96, 97. So we're like 90s kids. So like Shrek. Like this might be like our Shrek basically.
Be,
you know what I mean? For like your daughter, my little sister, my godson, all of them, they're around that age between 3 to 10, 11, you know what I mean? Like it might be like that for all, especially though it may be, that's another thing for the future. I don't want to get like too bogged into the weeds here, but something like that will last culturally relevantly longer because anyone can watch it at any point in time basically now. Where Shrek, it was like, we could only watch it again if we like bought the DVD or VHS or whatever. Basically, you maybe caught it on TV sometimes, but that's why it might be more culturally relevant. Like, and that's just like a future thing, I guess, with film altogether, though.
And I think that's a good example of Shrek too, because the soundtrack has lived on. You know, I still listen to those songs. I imagine in 20 years I'll still be listening to Golden and all those other songs on there.
It is funny because Shrek 1, that is, I think, my first soundtrack I ever had, like the CD of. It was either that or Rugrats in Paris. It was one or the other, but they're both really good.
Yeah.
So I think about that, both the first two Shrek movies, but I don't want to get too far off of, we're talking about K-pop here. Not Shrek. So who would you vote for?
I would vote for Zootopia too. Sorry, I loved it. I'm a huge Zootopia guy. I love the mystery. I know maybe a little bit more predictable than the first movie. Get it? Definitely not as good as the first movie. It's never going to win though, because the first movie did win Best Animated Feature. They're not going to give it to the inferior sequel. Like it's going to be something different. I think the box office means something though. We have to include that. We have to think about that. That's who I'd vote for, but I get it. K-pop, I understand.
Yeah, it's going to win. I mean, Zootopia, I think if you all have seen the short and if we've talked about it, it maybe comes off that I was a hater of Zootopia too, because it definitely comes off that way, but it was because I had such high regard for the first one that the second one, as great as it was, it just, in my opinion, wasn't as good as the first one. And so it made me come at it from a little bit of a negative because I was a little bit let down by it just because I thought it was going to be. But my vote is for K-pop. It's not even close for me again. Like I said, I think it'll easily win and I easily voted for it and I didn't even give it a close second in my opinion. I guess Zootopia 2 though would be if I had to do a others mentioned. Obviously, we all knew that. I hope you guys are excited about that. I mean, we get the second one soon, so hopefully we don't have to wait forever on it. Deserving. That's all we need to say here. Deserving. Then next we got costume design. And I think this one also is not close. This is a weird one for me to have big thoughts on, but I have massive thoughts on this one. I think Frankenstein should win. Literally, when I was watching the movie, I was like, Mia Goth looks so freaking cool. Always. Anytime she was on the screen, I was like, this girl looks awesome. She's not even the crowning achievement for most people in the movie when it comes to costume design. Everyone's talking about Dr. Frankenstein and the creature itself, but like, and she's in there too. For me, the three of them look so good, and really everyone looked good. Like, that's the thing I liked. Guillermo del Toro is very, don't look at me. Tim Burton-esque, and Tim Burton is known for that. You know what I mean? That the way people look, it just looks a certain way, a certain awesome way, and he kind of did the same thing, especially in this movie for me.
I think most of his movies really do good in the below the line awards, like this one, costume design. I think he has a very good chance. I also picked Frankenstein. It's not who I would pick. Once again, there's a lot of that, I think, as I go through this where I disagree. But I think this is what would win, and I get why it will win. More than likely. The costumes are great. Like you said, Mia Goth is amazing. The Frankenstein monster is what really, for me, put it over the top as far as costumes go.
Like I said, I think Victor looked pretty good too. He had some good costumes that, in my opinion, if you have a costume that catches my eye, and I don't know, I saw it 3 months ago, and I still can like vividly remember the costume look, I'm like, that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
pretty whatever. So who would you vote for though?
I give the Sinners. Just the vibe, the overall. I love the throwback vibe, that part of American history. Specifically, I think the ones that stood out to me were Michael B. Jordan, both of his costumes, the way you were able to tell who was which brother just based on what they were wearing. Like that communicated so much.
That's a really good point.
I'll never forget the scene like where he's got like the gun in his hand and he's shooting all of the clan members.
Oh yeah.
Just like that look of like he had the straps
Die
on.
Hard.
Yeah.
It was Die Hard-esque.
He looked amazing. And then obviously all of the people inside of the juke joint, like their costumes, that it really took you to that time in history. Like, you know, just by their costumes, you could tell where we were in history. Not that you couldn't with Frankenstein too, but I'd probably get the Sinners.
Mine was easily Frankenstein.
Wait a minute.
Like I didn't even have like an others receiving votes for me personally. I think Frankenstein runs away with it in my opinion, so I totally vote for Frankenstein. But I will say Haley Steinfeld's costume was really good. That pink, like it's very like memory, like you're gonna associate that with the film when you're thinking back on it. Like you're gonna be able to see that. And I didn't even think about this, the end. In the 90s.
That's true.
I didn't even think about those costumes. Those were really good.
Talk about being of a moment.
Yeah,
you can instantly tell what time in history you're
those
at.
were really good costumes.
Yeah.
For me though, I'm always gonna vote for the otherworldly probably over. So like in my opinion, number 2 is probably even Avatar. That's just me and my personal vote. I vote for more of those kind of, which is probably not fair to a degree, but oh well, it's my vote. I get to vote for who I want to.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Yep.
We knew
Del
it.
Toro.
We knew it. That's a guy. That's a good guy. We like that guy.
He dominates the below the line.
So the original screenplay. I'll let you go first with your prediction on this one.
Okay, so this one's pretty straightforward for me, I thought. There's been a lot that I feel like were pretty open and shut. This is one of them. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give away, I think One Battle has a big night. And because of that, the most nominated film ever is gonna, it's gonna lose out on a lot of awards. So I think they're gonna put Ryan Coogler on the stage right here. This is his moment. He's gonna be able to give a speech. We all know he gives amazing speeches. I can't wait to hear what he's got to say. Every time he opens his mouth, I listen. I think this is his moment to be on stage. They're gonna give it to him. That's why I think he wins this one.
I thought the same thing. I was like, this is their big moment. Unfortunately, One Battle After Another and Sinners, it's very unfortunate they came out in the same year, because if it was another year, they probably would, either one would have just swept everything. Not everything, but you know what I mean. They would have had the big years.
Heavy favorites.
Yeah, for everything they're in. But unfortunately, they are going against each other. And in general, this was just a big year for movies in general. So there are going to be cannibalism going on with each other. You know what I mean? So it's like, unfortunately, none of these movies are going to win as many awards as they should probably. So I also went with Sinners in this department. I think this is their big time to shine is in this one. And who did you want to win though?
Absolutely Sinners.
Yeah.
I think it's the best script in this category.
I agree. I don't want to say anything bad about any of the others, but I think it kind of ran away with it in this department. I don't even think there's a close second.
Just what he was able to do with the vampire movie is like, we'll be studying it in film school for years to come. Like how he was able to communicate so many themes in a very simple story, to be honest.
But what about the other vampire movie, Marty Supreme?
That's true, yeah. Blew us away there. I was not prepared for that one.
Easy. We all knew that. We all knew that.
First Oscar. Well done. Wow. Finally. Let's go. Just take it in. Take it in.
We're writing adapted screenplay. So this one, for me, this is One Battle After Another. It's the big movie of the year. I'm trying to think. It's like everyone's kind of worthy in this one. One Battle After Another was just on the next level.
Yeah. It definitely wins. Every PTA script, is really intelligent, well written, always really funny. I was just so engaged in this one. I remember watching it for the first time, and just from the moment that it started, I was with it the whole way through. And for a script not to lose me, like, an hour or an hour and a half in, this is a long movie.
It was a
like
long
it's
movie.
supposed to lose you if it's that long of a movie. But it was so propulsive. It was so intriguing. I loved all of it. Every time I thought we were going to get to a dull spot, there was a joke or something happened action-wise. that just propelled the script. And so it's got to be one battle for me.
It's-
Both my opinion and what will win.
That's my opinion and what will win as well. I think that it's a very reoccurring theme over the entire film this year, very political. And I get why some people wouldn't like that. Me and Zach are not super political, but at the same time, we do care about politics. So I'm sure you appreciated that side of it just as I did. So
Yeah. And my wife is mixed, so that mixed family story was awesome. I know PTA was super inspired by that. He's talked about that all award season with his wife, just how important it was to make sure that the main female lead was mixed, that represented basically his daughter. So I thought that was cool. I will say one thing though, I would not be surprised. So Hamnet for a long period of time, almost leading up to this season really, was the second favorite. I won't be surprised if we see Hamnet on the stage here. I think if they're gonna get in, this is their moment, because otherwise, I mean, obviously there's later awards that they're gonna win, but this is the big one, that if they wanna get them on the stage for something that's not acting, this is the moment. I don't think it will be, because once again, I think it's pretty clear, but I wouldn't be surprised if Hamnet did something here. Oh!
We all knew that. Let's go. Dude's gonna be like, God, he's so good.
will he be up there with like Scorsese level when he retires by the time he's done, you think?
Maybe. Yeah, he'll be more like a Spielberg though, because he's more popcorn.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. So next up, makeup and hairstyling. For me, I think that this one, I'm not saying it's easy, because I do think there was a three-way race for me personally, but I'm going with Frankenstein. And here's the thing, so I loved Frankenstein, and I'm really trying to not let any of my opinions on movies affect what I think would win and the way I would vote. But I do think that it wins in this because Jacob Elordi, look at him, he looked crazy.
One of the most beautiful guys in Hollywood, and he's a monster. I mean, they did a good job. I don't like Frankenstein. Very not big fan of the movie, but I think it's by far the best makeup of the year. I mean, it's incredible. Once again, Jacob Elordi, women love him, and he looks nothing like himself in this movie. So I think they're going to win for that pretty easily.
Is that who you would vote for as well?
Yeah, Frankenstein for sure.
Yep, I would vote for Frankenstein. I will say though, I do want to give a little nod to the Smashing Machine. If you did not know it was The Rock, I don't know how long you could have went in the movie without knowing it was him, because it does not look like him at all. I remember when I first saw the trailer, I'm gonna say the first few times I saw the trailer, I didn't know it was him. Like, I wasn't actively watching the trailer, but I didn't realize it was him. And I think that needs to be, and also The Ugly Stepsister. It's a movie that only got one nomination. A lot of people are not talking about it. It's kind of crazy what they did in that. It's freaky, and I think that even though it's not gonna win, even though I wouldn't vote for it, I think that it should at least just get mentioned, because I think it deserves it deserves its flowers. Yeah, it deserves its flowers.
For sure.
Mike Hill, Jordan Samuel.
Whoa! It does look good.
They were beautiful. It was a beautiful look. I love it. Well deserving. The movie that I love and Zach hates.
They ruined my precious Frankenstein.
Next, we have film editing, which I feel like some of these, for the uninitiated, like I don't want there to be a hard for people to understand what's going on with all these. And I'm not saying that we're smart, because I'm not gonna lie, a couple of these I had to look up the exact definition multiple times so I knew exactly what I was voting for and what I thought people were voting for, because I don't think just saying film editing is always super like we know what that means.
Yeah, well undefined.
Yeah, it's a little undefined. So the Academy Award for Best Film Editing recognizes the best achievement in the art of selecting and combining raw footage into a cohesive, finished motion picture. That was one where I was like, multiple times I was like, okay, again, what does film editing actually mean? So for me, I think that this is another tally for one battle after another.
Absolutely. Like I said earlier, the film was super propulsive. That's because of editing. The reason why there's no dull moment is because they edited this super well and made sure every scene made sense and that it was flowing. That's the perfect definition of editing, in my opinion, is you don't really get bogged down at any point.
Yeah, I agree. There was no point where I was like, what was that scene? Or what was that cut? That didn't make any sense. Like, none of that happened. It was just really perfectly done on that, which the movie was perfectly done on most fronts, if we're being honest. But they did do it really good there. I do want to say that is my vote, by the way. Is that what you're voting for as well? Okay, that is what I vote. But I do think that F1 and Sentimental Value should be getting some nods as well. Sentimental Value specifically for the scene that he was talking about when he was like, I want this all shot in one.
Yes.
And then they actually did that.
The Warner, yeah.
Yeah, the Warner, I was like, that's really good. Which that goes into cinematography, but the way it all edits in together as well.
I'm a sucker for a Warner. Anytime there's a Warner, I'm like, okay, we're doing something here.
And like, yeah, and it's one of those things.
Whoa, Dad.
Hey, Dad.
There you are, Dad.
Dad! Hey, Dad!
We're getting comfortable here. It's one of those things where it's like, I think that's another thing where I had to really look at film. I think cinematography and film editing is an easy one to accidentally go into each other and you didn't even realize that you're like playing something else into. But I do think that NF1 was just, that the editing in that was really, really, really good.
Absolutely, yeah. The way they switched from like, the driver to the car to the people, and it was completely, it was like you were at the race. And if you've ever watched any sort of racing, it's what they do, but done better.
And that's
they
what I was
don't have the ability to do the things that they did in F1, but it gives you that feel of actually watching an F1 race or a NASCAR race.
Both got it.
Easy, easy. It's gonna pick up here soon. Right now, we're keeping it close. So now we've got the actress in the supporting role. So this was a weird category for me personally because Misako was good. That was one that people were like, hey, don't know if that really should have gotten nominated. Maybe that was just like a Sinners because we're loving, the Sinners, and they got probably more nominations than they should have. And this is one, I thought she was great, but I do think that was one that maybe was like because people weren't expecting her to get nominated.
No, she was a surprise.
And then Inga from Sentimental Value, she was like, we both talked about this already. We both was very surprised.
Yep.
I don't know if I want to say surprised, but neither of us was familiar with her. So we were like, wow, she was really good. And especially in a film that had like Elle Fanning. You know what I mean? Like Elle Fanning was good in this, but Inga was more, which is like, that's a big praise because I'm a big Elle Fanning person. That's a big praise right there. And then it's like, again, also, so I know who's going to win. I think I know who's going to win. I think it's easily going to be Tiana Taylor. But I'm just going to go ahead and say also, that's not who I'm voting for though. The best that I could say for why she does deserve it is because I absolutely hated her character. And that's like that just means she played her part really well because you're supposed to hate her. But I'm voting for Amy Madigan if I'm voting because I think that it is so cool. What was it? It's like 45 years since the first time she was nominated to now. I think that's a cool story.
Yep.
And I do think that horror doesn't get the nods very often, but I do think this is one time where I personally would give it to her because she was so scary, but she really hit all the emotions from one end to the other. And I think that was really impressive. And Tiana Taylor, I think my biggest issue with her is for her to win supporting actress. I don't know that she was in it enough for me personally to get my vote. That's why I voted for Amy instead.
That's fair. Yeah, we're actually completely flipped on this one. I have Amy Madigan winning. I think.
Whoa!
So I've been doing a lot of Oscar history over the past couple of weeks, and what I've discovered more than anything, the Oscars loves to make people wait. I think this is maybe too soon for Tiana Taylor. I think the thought is she's going to be there again. Amy Madigan, like you said, it's been a long time since she's been there. What I've been hearing, I listen to a lot of podcasts, so it's all about how you present yourself for the Oscars. It's basically like a campaign race. You're trying to like wine and dine these voters to try to get them to vote for you. And from what I've been hearing, Madigan is doing a great job campaigning.
Okay.
So I do think it's trending in her direction. Obviously, who knows? Because we won't know to that night. But I do think there's usually an upset. I think this is the upset. But I would vote for Tiana Taylor. I thought she was absolute firecracker. The moment she showed up, it was like, I don't know, like a bomb going off. Literally, like in the movie, there's bombs going off. They're setting them off. She is a bomb of a performance. I was blown away by it. I thought she was incredible. And I feel like even when she's not there, you made the point where she's on the move for like less than 20 minutes probably.
Yeah.
I felt like the movie, though, consistently points back to her and references her. So even though she's not there, the character is impacting every single thing that's happening in the movie, from the decisions that Leo's character's making to Chase's decisions. All of those character decisions really point back to her decision to leave her daughter. Yeah, we don't like it. She's not a good mom. But I thought the performance was absolutely incredible. That's who I would give it to. If I'm wrong and she wins, I'll be very happy, obviously. But I think she gets upset.
That's a really good point that I hadn't thought about. That because it is, the whole movie is constantly referencing back to her, and I didn't even think about that. So yes, she's not in the movie that much, but she's in the movie constantly.
Exactly.
I didn't even think about that. So okay, I mean, I understand that. I understand why you would. That is a good argument for why you would vote for her over Amy. But I'm really excited, and now you guys are gonna know right now who got that point.
Amy Madigan.
Let's go! There we go.
Amy, well done.
Okay.
Let's go, Amy.
Next, we have sound, which is another one that I wrote down because sound, again, I think it's one of those that you just are like, what do you mean? Because it's, it's not the soundtrack. It's different. So the sound.
Not the score, yeah.
Yeah, it's not the score. It's different. The Academy Award for Best Sound honors excellence in the combined overall audio experience of a film, including sound design, recording, editing, and mixing. You could almost say it's just how well can you hear what the people are saying to a degree. Like that's almost like that's like a big part of it. And it's funny because I wish I had done this like way ahead of time. I didn't think about it. Next year I'll definitely think about this. I'm gonna next year, which ones did I have to have captions on and not when I went back and watched it? Because obviously in theaters you can't, but a lot of these I rented them and watched them at home. And there was a bunch of them now, and I hate, because I have bad hearing. I have a bad, my right ear, can't hear out of everywhere else, bunch of surgeries and stuff. So I hate to be this person because I hate captions, but at the same time I do have to have them a lot.
What are they selling? What? I can't hear you. They're selling chocolate. Yeah.
So I wish I had thought about that beforehand. The ones that didn't is really the ones that should have won this, but this is the one time that I'm giving F1 the award. I think that it got way more nominations than everyone expected.
Yep.
I think that initially I was like, that's kind of weird. Why is it getting so many nominations? There was quite a few movies this year, like this one and Frankenstein and Begonia. I liked them both way more than I thought I was going to. And F1 was just so much better than I thought it would. And I was like, now I get why it gets all these nominations. It deserves to win at least one. And I think this is their chance to win.
I think you can make the argument it got nominated because of the sound.
That's fair.
Like I watched this in the theater. It absolutely blew me away. I'm a huge Top Gun Maverick fan, so I was kind of ready for this one. It was the director's next movie, and I was prepared for it. Still blown away by it. I just can't describe to you how much more it made me want to watch a race. I don't like watching NASCAR. I don't watch F1, but this made me want to go watch one instantly. The way it sounded. But the point is, the reason why it's so great is F1 doesn't sound that good. That's what's so impressive about this movie is you feel like you're in the car. You feel like you're on the track. You feel like you're completely immersed in the experience. So like you said, I think it's a pretty easy award for me. I thought F1 had the best sound of the year.
I do want to give a nod to One Battle After Another. I thought One Battle After Another did really good in the sound department as well. But I think that in their opinion, this is the one award that F1 can actually win. So we're going to give it to that one. I think, and we'll talk about this probably a little bit more, but we can go ahead and touch on it now. The problems with when you're nominated for 17, 16, 12, 9 different things is that scatters votes across a little much, and it makes it harder for you to win certain awards. So I do think that even though One Battle After Another maybe deserve, I'm not saying they do it because I would have voted for F1. That's who I would have voted for.
Same.
But One Battle After Another maybe deserves it, maybe. Arguably deserves it, but they're not going to get a chance because people are going to be like, oh, voted for this one, this, and that kind of thing.
Let's go!
We're both right. Everybody knows. Everybody knew.
That's the whole reason they're there.
That's the whole reason they're there. Next is music, the original song. So the category that highlights songs that are integral to the film's narrative, emotional impact, or atmosphere. I think that's important that you really, in this department, you can't just pick the best song.
Yep.
In my opinion, which is why some of you probably are going to be mad at my picks. But Golden is probably the best song out of all these. But to me, it is not that super important to the actual what's going on in the movie, the emotions and stuff. Because really, when they're doing their big golden moment, Takedown is the song that's more about, the story and stuff. So it's like...
Probably should have been nominated too.
Honestly, yes. Honestly. That's probably true, but for me, I Lied to You is the nomination that's gonna win for me, and it's who I would vote for because it plays more integral into the actual story. And that for me, I liked I Lied to You. I think Golden's a better song, but I go for I Lied to You because of what it actually means for music original song, the category.
Yeah. I totally agree. I would personally vote for I Lied to You for the same reason. I will never forget being in the theater and watching that scene happen, like wondering what the heck was going on, like why Coogler went for what he went for. I think Miles Catton is an amazing actor that we're going to be around for years to come. And they should make Breakout Actor an Oscar just so that he can win the award. He's incredible. But I did pick Golden. I think Golden will win. I think it's going to take the prize. Once again, I think you're right. It's about the experience that's in the movie. But often, from what I've seen in the past, that's not what they voted on. Unfortunately, that's what that says. It's true.
Right.
It's how it should be done. It's why a lot of people who follow the Oscars want this award gone. I think it's a bad award because they think that they're not really following what they say they're going to do.
I'm just following the rules, guys. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just trying to do what they said the rules are. I don't know. But for me, I don't think this is K-Pop Demon Hunter's chance to go up there and accept their big award. I don't think this is the one for them. But I do get that makes sense. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Right now.
Let's go!
Deserved. Good job. Good job. I love the K-Pops. Them K-Pop Demon Hunters Huntrix. Oh, they're crying.
Let's go. First K-pop song. Not the last.
Yeah, definitely not. Waiting for K-Pop Demon Hunters 2 to win.
This award is not about success, it's about resilience. And
It's about the takedown, actually. Next up is production design. The Academy Award for Best Production Design recognizes excellence in a film's world building, specifically honoring the art department's creation of sets, decor, and overall visual performance. It's kind of what that means, because I feel like that's another one that it's like, what does production design mean exactly? Because it's not just the set, it's the world building that they do with all of that. For me, I think that depending on how you understand production design as a category is what you would vote for. I think that a lot of people will vote for Hamnet, but I personally think that Frankenstein deserves it because it's the Tim Burton thing. Basically, anytime Tim Burton, if you nominate him, for me personally, if he's nominated in this department, he should win it basically every time because no one has their look and their world built better than he does, and Guillermo del Toro does that super well, especially in this movie also. So that's why, in my opinion, that's what it should win. That's what I would vote for.
Yeah, I mean, I already said I don't like Frankenstein. I think it wins, though. I was not necessarily blown away by the script. A lot of the acting, except for Jacob Elordi, I was kind of iffy on. My golf was good, too, though. But I thought the production design was incredible. I felt transported. I felt like I was in this fictional world. And honestly, the way it was portrayed, it almost felt like it could be real. I felt like the ship especially was really good. I thought that the mansion was really good. I thought where he actually did the experiment to create Frankenstein was a great set. I thought all the sets were great, and I thought they felt very unique and different, and like you said, very Del Toro.
They were super unique, like where he has the beast chained up. That's like just a super, it's like I've never thought of a building looking like with the little trail of water. It's like, what is that?
Yeah.
I've never seen a building to have that. I've never thought about that. And then like that, and the, like you said, the mansion, especially at the beginning, like when he was a child with his mother there in the red, that I was like, that's pretty good. I agree. What would you vote for?
I'd vote for Frankenstein,
You vote for Frankenstein?
Yeah, I think Frankenstein's deserving here. I think really most of the below-the-line awards, which, talking about makeup, production design, like really Frankenstein that's the thing it did well.
Yeah.
That's why it's nominated so much.
Yeah.
That's why it's getting a lot of the acclaim that it's getting, and I think it deserves it.
I love Frankenstein, like a lot. It's gonna win more than better movies this year, in my opinion. I think there is movies that are, I don't want to say significantly better because I don't want to say that Frankenstein wasn't a good movie because I absolutely loved it. I gave it 4 stars out of 5. But I do think there are movies that are better than it. For example, like The Secret Agent, that are not going to win nearly as many awards.
No.
Not saying that Frankenstein's winning 12 awards, but at the same time, it's gonna win, like you said, those kind of artsy awards because it was the arguably most artsy film this year.
Definitely. And Del Toro historically wins a lot of those awards for his set design, his makeup, so I think it's predictable that he's going to win again.
Tamara Devereaux and Shane Gill for Frankenstein.
Called
Man,
it.
all they do is win these awards.
I know, right? Frankenstein's just sweeping out here. They said, do you need an artful movie to win all the artful awards? We got you. Love it.
This is what Del Toro does, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's, yeah.
Sure not write a good script.
I disagree heavily. Sorry, Mr. Del Toro.
For the next one, we have visual effects. For me, this is an easy. It's the film that would win this every single year, no matter which year it was. Avatar won it the first time. Did the second Avatar win also visual effects?
I believe so. I could be wrong though.
So I do believe that every Avatar movie, first, second, or third, basically any year, they're gonna win it.
Yep.
Maybe a Marvel or Star Wars movie could have knocked one of them out, but I would say for the most part, any Avatar movie is gonna win any year, no matter what year it came out.
Yeah. Well, when you spend $400 million on a movie, it better win Best CGI. Incredible, yeah, James Cameron. I mean, what else can we say about James Cameron? His movies look incredible. This one looked even more realistic than the previous one, which once again continues to blow your mind. I don't know how he does it. Well, I do. He spends a lot of money. But yeah, I think it's pretty easy as well. It's hard to vote for too.
They say Avatar might be done, but you know, they've been different talks about because this one didn't do as well and the different things like that. But if nothing else, Avatar is cool to keep going just because of how much better each one looks, and it sets the stage for every other film to be compared to when it comes to the visual effects. So yeah, it deserves it. It's gonna win it. I think this is probably the most closed book, easy answer of the night, probably.
Yeah, it's one of them for sure.
Avatar Fire.
Surprise, surprise!
Good old Big Jim. You can always count on Big Jim.
Keep making the Avatar movies just so we can push the limits of videography and CGI. Wow.
It's just not even fair.
Yeah, I mean, it's not.
They spent $400 million on the movie.
It better look good. Better look good being that much, yeah.
Next, we have the brand new award. I'm pretty excited.
It's about time, really.
Literally, it is about time. I think the fact that this is the first time it's ever been done is almost criminal. Why is casting just now a thing? So since it's new, we're just gonna make sure that we know exactly what they say it is. The Oscar for Achievement in Casting honors the creative selection of a film's entire acting ensemble, recognizing the casting director's role in shaping a story through casting decisions. And I think the way that's worded is very important for which movie is going to win it. It's not the best cast, it's in my opinion, the way I read it is it's how the casting decisions shape the film itself. Yep. That's the way I read it. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean they're going to do it that way, because like we say, sometimes they don't do what they actually say it is. They vote for different stuff, but that's the way I read it. So for me, it's got to be Sinners. It's arguably, they're also just the best cast, period. Yep. But I do think that Michael B. Jordan, I think it's because of the decision for him to play two characters for me.
Which was not the original thing.
Yes, that wasn't even the original decision. I think the fact that they did that, I think that is like you were right here, you know, you had a 60% chance of winning. That specific thing jumped it up to, oh, now you have an 80% chance of winning. For me personally, I think that was the above all reason that it's like, you got to give it to Sinners, and that's who I would vote for as well.
Absolutely. I would also vote for Sinners. I think they will win. For me personally, I think the Miles Catton thing is just incredible. They discovered this guy who's going to be in our lives for years to come. He's an amazing actor. He's not going anywhere. I will say, brand new award. I think they have a lot to work out here, because to me, it's laughable that Sentimental Value is not nominated for Best Casting, considering that 3 of the main actors are nominated for acting awards. Mm-hmm. Like, that's clearly like a casting thing. Mm-hmm. Also, Inga was not well known before this.
Yeah.
She's not a discovery like Miles is, but she's pretty close.
Yeah.
And so they discovered someone, got some incredible actors to perform very well. Obviously, the Academy thought so. So I'm kind of confused. Actually, I guess it's all 4, because yeah, all 4 of them got nominated. So it's definitely, they should be there. They should be in the casting. They honestly, in my opinion, if you're going to nominate 4 of the actors for awards, they should probably win.
Yeah, that is a good point. I hadn't even really thought about that. That's actually a really good point. But it's a new award. The description I gave is what we think it's about. That's kind of what we've been led to believe it's about. But we'll see as the award goes on from year to year basis. We're not even going to know probably just even after this year what it actually is. We'll just see. You'll see with us right now. But before we see, I do want to say that for me personally, I want to give a nod to 2 other movies in this department. I think Sinners wins above them. I think they should win above them. I think Marty Supreme had some really interesting decisions made. Like, I think they chose some really interesting people. I think picking Mr. Wonderful was just a crazy decision that I loved. I thought that really shaped the movie with that decision. So I think that was like, they made interesting decisions there, and I like that. And then secondly, The Secret Agent. The reason that I picked The Secret Agent and why I think it should get nod here, and I really want to vote for it, but it is a little bit of a bias. That's why I'm not going to. I personally felt like in The Secret Agent is not going to get the chance to be talked about a lot. That's why I want to talk about it here. Is, in my opinion, every single cast member there felt like a real person. Like, I don't remember ever watching a movie so much that I felt like I was just watching real life. Every single person there did not feel like an actor. It felt like we were just, these are people I would actually meet if I was in this situation.
Absolutely.
They were not playing a character. It felt like all of them. And it does help that because we don't know Brazilian movies. We don't watch Brazilian movies. We don't know these actors. I don't know how many of them are super well known or super unknown, like we've never seen them before. But it did feel like every single one of them were not playing a part. They were just being themselves. It's like, I don't know this person. This is a real person that would walk up to me in the streets of Brazil.
Particularly the one that's like the landlord of the place where they're all staying.
Yeah, she was great.
I was like, is this a real landlord? Like, is this person like a real person
she
doing
felt
this job?
super real. Yes, I agree.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay.
Okay.
There you go.
Not my first option, not my second option. Third option, maybe not even my third option.
Chase, man, is a big reason why.
Wow.
Wow, that's a huge upset. I can't believe it.
That's crazy.
Next, we have international feature film. I'm gonna say it, guys. This was a freaking tough. This was a good, strong category this year.
This might be the toughest decision.
You think so?
It's one of them. It's up there with Best Actor, I think.
I don't know for me if I would say it was the toughest decision, but I would say that this was a loaded category. This is the perfect year that if you're afraid to watch international films, this is the year to branch out and just give them a shot, in my opinion.
Incredible.
It's been getting better every year.
Yep.
But this year, it was multiple, super freaking good. Personally, The Secret Agent it's crazy. It's gonna be up there. I don't know if I'd say it's my top 50 favorite films of all time, but it's up there. Like, I loved.
Incredible, yeah.
I loved Sentimental Value. The film that I think is gonna win. Sentimental Value, in my opinion, is basically a perfect movie. I think this is an all-time top movie. Again, Sentimental Value, I think, might be the film that suffers the most with being in the same year as One Battle After Another and Sinners. It's not gonna win the best picture. I'm gonna go ahead and say that right now. I don't think it's going to, but I think it should be way more considered than it's going to be. I'm not saying that that's xenophobia or anything like that. I do think being a foreign film plays into it at least a little bit.
I'm running on vapors. I need to land.
I'm just kind of rambling now. Sentimental Value for me is the pick. It's what I would vote for. You said it's a close one. For me personally, I think that Sentimental Value is just an all-timer and should win this, even though I freaking love The Secret Agent.
Yeah, if I were voting, I would also go Sentimental Value. I think The Secret Agent wins, though.
Whoa!
I know. I think it's going to be an upset. So here's the reason why. So like I said, I've been doing a lot of research leading up to this. I found out that, so this is a Brazilian movie, Secret Agent. Brazil is very strong in the Academy. They're very persuasive. Everything I've read says they have quite a voice in the Academy. I think you see that by the fact that Wagner got nominated for Best Actor. I think you're going to see that. I think we'll come more to that later. I think it's going to really compete, and I think it's going to take it. Once again, Sentimental Value, I agree, is an incredible movie, well acted. It's the one I would give the award, but I think The Secret Agent upsets here.
That's cool. You know what? Even if I'm cool with that, I loved them both. I thought they were both great movies. Like you said, I've talked about here how much I love The Secret Agent already, but If it wins, I'm gonna be cool either. Like I like them both so much. Either one, I'm cool with. I think Secret Agent's not gonna win enough, in my opinion, that I'm gonna be upset a little bit with how little it wins. Sentimental value, it doesn't win this award. I'm gonna be mad there. So I'm gonna be mad no matter what, probably, because both these movies are not gonna get the respect they deserve.
Yep.
So unfortunately, we have to wait, but you get to find out. No.
Come on, Secret Agent.
I hope Secret Agent wins.
And the Oscar goes to Sentimental
There you go.
Value.
Well
Yep.
done, buddy. Well done.
I get it. Yep. Masterpiece. It's a masterpiece. It deserves it, man. I really wish Secret Agent had won, though. But this keeps me in the game.
Okay, next is cinematography. Now, I do think the most important thing for me when I was voting cinematography is the film's visual identity. This was maybe the hardest one for me because I think there's 3 different movies for me that was really important in this category. And I think all 3 of them have a really good reason to choose. So if any of these 3 movies win, I'm gonna be okay with it. I think One Battle After Another does win this. This is where I hate people vote for different things for different reasons.
Yep.
Like I said, film visual identity, if that was just what they're voting for, I don't think One Battle After Another wins it. But I do think this is one that One Battle After Another takes. I personally, though, would vote for Train Dreams. One Battle After Another, I think, wins because of the one single shot, the heels.
Yeah.
I think it
Great
wins.
scene.
I think it
Iconic.
literally wins just because of the cinematography in that scene. I think that's enough for it to get the award, in my opinion. But I would have voted for Train Dreams. The whole aspect ratio of it, all of that, I thought was super inventive. The reason they did that is they wanted it to look more like an old photograph. That was like the reason that they filmed it that way. Thought that was awesome. I think it had a very strong visual, like I understand what they're going for. I think that, in my opinion, that's very important when voting for cinematography. So that's why it would get my vote, but I do think One Battle After Another is gonna take it because One Battle After Another is gonna take a lot of awards here.
It's true. I have Sinners though. I'm taking Sinners.
Whoa!
Yeah, I'm taking Sinners. So IMAX, if you go to IMAX, they had these special screenings in LA. I didn't get to go, but they had these like little film strips you could buy, and it had these different shots of the movie. And so there's one of them where he has the gun, which I've already referenced, Michael B. Jordan's character. There's the sunset. There's the one where they're in the car with both cameras, shifting back from Michael B. to Miles. And I just remember thinking the one in the car especially was incredible. The sunrise scene where all the vampires start to catch on fire. I thought all of those scenes were incredible. I think about how blue it is at the very beginning of the movie when Miles is going to the church. That was a great scene. The view of the church. I thought the cinematography was incredible in Sinners. That's what I think's gonna win. That's what I would vote for. Will say Train Dreams would also be second for me. I think the shot of the camera on the tree as the tree is falling, just like has lived rent-free in my brain ever since I first saw it. So many incredible scenes. The scene of him when he's in the airplane at the very end of the movie, like that one sticks in my head. I thought it had amazing cinematography. I love Train Dreams. It's my 4th favorite of the year. I want it on the stage, so if it beats Sinners, I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Put it up on the stage.
I think Train Dreams is another one that's gonna get beat down a little more than it should because it should have been nominated more, to be honest with you. And I think unfortunately, it's not gonna win the hardware that it should for how good it was. A lot of people, I feel like that's one a lot of people have not seen as well that they should go check it out. This is our, Zach.
It's on Netflix, go watch it now.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. If Netflix, if you want to work with us, let us know. But it is, I think that's one that a lot of people, this is both of us saying, hey, go watch it. Because it does need to be seen. But I also, real quick, do want to say, Marty Supreme gets a nod for me here because the movie, I remember walking away and I thought the cinematography was so good in it because of this is the film's visual identity. Yep. It's very dark and gritty and the whole movie is about, the movie makes you uncomfortable in a lot of different reasons, and I think it's filmed that, I don't remember ever seeing a movie that was more like the way it was filmed matched that kind of feeling that it had.
Matched the character.
Yes.
And I even feel like, I could be wrong because I've only seen the movie once, but I feel like at the final scene where he sees his daughter, spoiler alert, his child, it's zoomed in on his face and the screen almost lights up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because he is lighting up.
Yeah.
It's almost
think
like they shot it completely to represent, his darkness, I don't know, moodiness, and then, you know, eventually, hopefully this kid's gonna save him. Probably not, because he's a terrible human being, but hopefully.
Also, it's really hard to film ping pong.
That's true.
And they did it well.
And I wanted to watch more.
Yeah, exactly.
I wanted another ping pong scene.
Oh, let's go!
No!
Let's go, baby!
Oh no! Congratulations to Sinners, but not for the game. This is terrible for the game.
Now we got the category of music, aka original score. I'm gonna say it, I got a controversial pick here.
Okay.
I would vote for One Battle After Another.
Okay.
That was I literally, because it's been a while since we've seen some of these movies.
Yeah.
You know, some of these movies have been out for a very long time. And I went back and was reading my review of One Battle After Another. And I remember it now that I'm looking at it. I said in my review, that was the best thing about the entire movie was its score. Which is like, when I'm thinking back, I'm like, that was a crazy thing to say, but I still believe it. It's just a crazy thing to say because that movie is so
incredible.
Yeah, I mean, you've heard it. I'm sure you've all have heard this. It's like, so far, the best movie of the 20th century. People are saying it's going to be the best movie of the 20th century, which we're halfway through. It's definitely possible.
Let's hope it gets beat, though.
Yeah.
We want good movies.
Yeah, exactly. But it's crazy that was the thing I walk away with. If I'm saying that's the best thing about that movie, you know what I mean? But I think personally, and I could be completely wrong, but I think that this specific thing about this movie, to me, felt like a big selling point for the movie. And I think this is the only chance it has to win. So I think they are going to give the Oscar to Begonia.
Okay.
Like I said, it's just a dart throw, if I'm being honest. But I do think that, in my opinion, that was one of the most, from seeing the trailer the very first time, the score felt like it was a very important part of the movie. Mm-hmm. And I think watching it, the score was very integral to it.
Yeah.
Even like, I know the bees buzzing isn't necessarily part of the score, but all of the sound of the movie was very important to the movie itself. And I do think that it was, like I said, an important part of the movie. I'm not necessarily saying, hey, Begonia has to win an award, but I do think if it's going to win an award, in my opinion, it's right here. This is the part that maybe deserves it the most. I don't think it's going to have a chance anywhere else. I would not be surprised if they give it to him here. And they like to make wild card picks sometimes.
It's true,
I think this might be one of those that people are not expecting them to win this, but this is where they get a weird nod. I think that I feel like Hollywood really enjoyed Begonia as well.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I loved it. It was way better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it would be like a 3.5 star movie. I gave it 4 stars. I really liked it. I usually don't like that kind of movie, the intense stuff, but I really liked it. That was another movie. This was a great year for movies that I was just like, whoa, that was way better than I thought it was going to be. I liked that way more than I thought it would. So I feel it was just the way it was marketed. It felt like people really gave a crap about this movie in Hollywood, for the lack of a better term. And I just feel like they want to give it an award.
Yeah. I agree. Begonia was great. It's not who I would vote for, who I think is going to win, but I do think, I think Begonia, I think of when they're kidnapping her, how the score changes. Mm-hmm. When finally it's revealed, spoiler alert, that Emma Stone is an alien, the score that's playing to give it kind of that weird alien feel. I thought it was very good. It definitely is one of the best ones, clearly.
I hate to give like all the best things away from all my reviews right here, but we're not gonna talk about a Begonia again, so this is my one chance to say this. The scene where she says, hold on, I wanna make sure I get it right. How many of them were Andromedans? That scene, from the moment that hit, I was like, this scene is so freaking good.
Yeah. What a twist.
Right? And that was such a good scene. I just want to say that real quick because we're not going to get the chance to say that again. That scene was so good. I genuinely hold that up as one of the best scenes this year in any film.
Yeah.
But go ahead, yeah.
I'm going to go Sinners. Ludwig, what can you say about Ludwig? He's one of the best to ever do it. I wrote in my notes, he's no longer competing against his contemporaries. He's competing against Morricone. He's competing against Williams. He's competing against Zimmer. He is in that category of composer. I'm not for sure how many Oscars this is going to be for him, but I think it's at least 2 or 3. He is incredible. He's going to win probably 6 or 7. 6-7. Boo! In his career, for sure. But yeah, and I would also vote for Sinners. I thought that the score was incredible. Also, I didn't really think about Begonia here, but Begonia is a great choice. One Battle, obviously. I think at some point they're going to reward the fact that they gave Sinners so many nominations. They don't want to give the most nominations ever and then not give it a lot of hardware. That would be embarrassing for them. And I think this is a place where, for me, the score was better in Sinners than it was in One Battle. So I think it's a place they can really reward Sinners, even though One Battle is probably going to win the night.
To speak on, like you said, I do think that it's funny that Sinners gets the most nominations ever when I don't think they're gonna win the most tonight. And I'm not even saying it's even that close to what I think's gonna win the most compared to how many, because I've got it written right here, and there's a decent percentage more of the top film winning than Sinners, in my opinion.
This is a big one for us because we have different things here.
And the Oscar goes to Sinners.
There we go.
That's also not who I would have given it to. I said I would have given it to One Battle After Another.
I remember. He's like won everything though.
All right, a biggin. We got actor in a leading role. This is the leading man of the year. There's a lot of big hitters here. This, for me, is do I think every single one of them should win it? Not necessarily. I would understand you voting for any of these guys.
Even Ethan, who I think most people think is 5th, would be a worthy winner, I think.
He was really good. And Zach's a huge Ethan Hawke guy.
That's my guy.
He's got a lot of love for him and Linklater, who did the Blue Moon. But I agree. Yeah, Ethan Hawke was great. He was almost unrecognizable.
I know.
And that's not just the look, it was the way he acted.
And the way it was shot too, where he was so much shorter. I looked it up. He's supposed to be like 10 inches taller than real life, and so you can never tell.
I looked that up as well because I was like, what happened here?
And he's so likable as an actor, but I despise the character.
Yes.
Which is always a good, that's a good performance.
Yep, that is true. I personally, I think we're going to say the same thing here of who we would vote for and prediction. I think it's time. You know what? I'm going to let you do it. He's your boy, Zach.
It's my boy's Timmy's time. Let's go, baby. It's about time. We watched this movie together. We both said when it was over, Marty Supreme, we will both be in the category that's a little bit overrated.
Yep.
Because most people are saying it's like top 250 movie ever. I can't go there with it. But I did elevate it to 4.5 stars just for Timothy.
Same here, by the way.
Thought he was incredible. I remember writing my review. He is our generation because he's our age. He's our De Niro. He really is. He's going to be the best actor of his generation. He's already getting close to Leo's record for nominations, and he's our age. And so think about how many he's going to have when he's Leo's age. Like, it's absolutely incredible. I need it. I would vote for it. I fear it might not happen.
Really?
So I said,
are you saying that, so you would vote for Timmy?
I would vote for Timmy, and I think he will win. But I do think I'm preparing my heart to be devastated. Because I do think Wagner Moura has a chance. I think he can get in. I think he was better than Leo. I'll say it. I think most people think Leo's second. I would definitely put Wagner first. I think he was better. I don't think that One Battle is Leo's best performance. I think in a lot of ways, his performance is integral, but it's elevated by the script, which is an incredible script, obviously. I think other people could have done the role, not as well, but they could have done the role. And I think that's kind of what you go for when you're voting for this category is, could you put somebody else in this role and then do it equally as well? I think with Timmy, he took on this role. Even like the lead up to the movie releasing, he became Marty. He became this guy. He took on a whole other personality. And so I think it's going to be him, but I will not be surprised if Wagner Moura gets on the stage here. Once again, going back to the Oscars are all about history. They don't want to reward people before their time. They made Denzel wait. They made PTA wait until this year, maybe going to make him wait even longer. Scorsese had to wait. All of these famous, amazing people have had to wait, and I wouldn't be surprised if Timmy has to wait again.
We got so much. This is a good one because we're just throwing heat here. We're throwing hot takes. I got hot takes. He said this about Leo. I got Leo in 5th place here.
Wow.
Leo's great. He's awesome. He's one of the greatest of all times. The movie was great and awesome. Like Zach said, I thought this literally when I got done watching it, there's a lot of people that could have played that part, and a lot of these other parts here, it couldn't have just been anybody. I hope Moura wins. If Moura wins, I'm gonna freak out. That's gonna be crazy. So I hope he wins so you guys get to see that reaction in like 30 seconds. But I thought Michael B. Jordan was number 2. I actually had Michael B. Jordan number 2. If Timmy doesn't win, I think it's Michael B. Jordan. It's because he played the two main characters.
Yeah.
Not the two main characters, but two of the biggest characters in the films, and he played them both very differently.
Yep.
It was very easy to tell which one he was at which time. I think that he would be deserving of the award.
Yep.
I think that every guy here would be deserving of the award. I think this is a really good. Like I said, I don't want to say that every single one of them, you can't say every single one of them should have won.
Yeah.
But it is like everyone is deserving, I guess you could say.
I will say, going back to your Michael take, the reason why I don't have him second personally is so he's Coogler's guy. Every movie that Coogler's made, Michael's been in it. And I do think that the way that Coogler writes the script elevates what Jordan can do. He's an incredible actor. Okay, he's amazing. But I do think before they're going to give him an award, they're going to need to see him do it with a different director. I think they're going to knock him for that. Because the Oscars, they're very particular about how certain things look, how it's viewed. Also, let's just be straight up with it. The Oscars kind of racist sometimes. So you got a white guy who did really, really good, and two guys who aren't white who also did very good. They're probably going to lean the white guy. Unfortunately, hopefully we're wrong. Hopefully the Academy's not as racist as it used to be. But, we'll see.
I think, and I said this in my review, I'm giving you all the best takes of all these movie reviews. I think Wagner Moura should replace Pedro Pascal. I think that Pedro Pascal is oversaturated. We see him in everything and way too much. Absolutely. I think that Moura would be because they just want a Hispanic guy that looks a certain way.
Exactly.
A lot of times,
all their movies, yeah,
and a lot of times that's why they continuously keep just picking Pedro Pascal. Moura's a great actor that would fit that exact.
A better actor, yeah.
You think he's a better actor?
I think so.
Okay. I think this is the only movie I've ever seen him in. I'm already a huge fan of him just after seeing this. I would have to see more from him before I said that because I do think Pedro is a really good actor. But I do think that he fits all the criteria that they want with Pedro Pascal. I think that he should be getting some of these roles that Pedro's getting. Not saying that Pedro's undeserving, but I do think he's been oversaturated, kind of the same way Kevin Hart was at one point in time. Yeah. It happens if you become I don't want to say an overnight sensation, but if you just become really big really quickly, they're going to put you in everything, and it does become a detriment to the actor themselves usually.
Yeah, the career usually is shorter. Look at Kevin Hart.
Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well done.
Deserving.
1 of 1, baby.
All these guys are incredible. They all deserve awards.
Man.
They can't all win them.
He's trying to look at Timmy. The cameras were on Timmy. Did you see that? Mm-hmm. Wow.
6th black man.
Next is directing. Uh-oh. Directing's a big one. I think we have the same one, so I'm gonna because this is Zach's guy, I'm gonna let Zach take it over.
The drought is finally over. Well done, PTA. You deserve it. I can't believe you've had to wait this long, but hey, just remember, Scorsese had to wait too. Also, I think it's pretty much done because the DGAs were a couple weeks ago, and PTA, he won the award. It is a pretty predictive award. You don't often win the director at the Directors Guild of America ceremony. You don't usually win that Best Director and then lose Best Director at the Oscars. So I think this one's probably done, unless they really want to pivot. I don't see why. He's won every single award so far this season. So I think it's over. That's who I'd vote for too.
That's who I'd vote for. That's who I think is going to win. I think this is, I don't want to say this is like one of the,
Use your body words. Where?
but with the context that Zach gave, I do think that it's very, very, very likely that we both get this one right. But I do want to give a nod to someone else here that I do think a different year would have won, Ryan Coogler.
Absolutely.
I think he definitely deserves to get mentioned here. I think those are your top two in this department. Ryan Coogler, he's a great director. He hasn't won one. He's probably going to win one at some point in time. It just seems like, unfortunately, he's probably going to be somebody that they do make wait quite a while.
Yep.
Not just because of the way he directs or the type of films he makes. There's just a lot of reasons that I think that they would make him specifically wait a while before he got one. He's also super young though too, and it's like he's got plenty of time. But I do think that deserves a nod. But I think PTA is the easy, it's his time.
Yep.
It's the destined son. It's time to give it to him.
Yep. Well deserved.
PT.
One battle after
Yep. Yep.
He got it!
It's the boy. The boy won. Finally, prodigal son. He has come to win his Oscar. 2 tonight. Not just 1, but 2.
Your time will come, Coogler.
Yeah, it will. But they're going to make you wait, unfortunately, brother. It's all right.
All the best. Wait.
So this was a really big category last year. We got actress in a leading role. I think it was the second to last one that they gave out last year. And, you know, they like to do they like to make it exciting. They're not going to just give a big one at the early, you know, just to whatever. They do it for a specific reason. This was a really big one last year. I think it's going to be a big one this year, but maybe not as big because I do think that personally it was a runaway.
Yep.
In my opinion, maybe not complete runaway. It's not the most one-sided out of all the categories tonight that we're looking at, but I do think that
It's top 3.
Yeah, it's probably top 3. And I do think that unfortunately, they're not even going to consider 3 of the people in there. I don't think they're going to even consider Emma Stone. She was good. The movie was good, but she wasn't the best thing about the movie.
And she already has 2.
And she already has 2. Don't think they're going to consider it. I don't think they're going to consider Kate Hudson. I think that Song Sung Blue would have really benefited coming out earlier in the season. And I think that it matters how much you put into marketing and how much movies are not considered unless you're throwing some kind of money to make them be considered. And from what I've gathered, Song Sung Blue did not do that nearly as much as a lot of these other movies did. Kate Hudson, great. She's always great. I mean,
this should have been Chase. This is where Chase Infinity should
You think so?
I think so.
I would have put Kate over Chase, but
Okay.
I get that reasoning, or I get that thinking, but I think that unfortunately she's not going to be considered because of all that. And then the leading lady in sentimental value, that queen, she's great, but I don't think they're going to consider her because I think in their minds, none of them are going to be like, she was the best, she did the best job out of anyone in the movie. She was great. And it could be a bit of a female to male thing, but I think they're going to hold Skarsgård at such a high clip that they're going to say that she can't win. You know what I mean? I don't think that's going to be possible. So I do think it's going to come down to Rose or Jessie. And I do think that Jessie Buckley is going to get it. I would vote for Jessie Buckley. She was incredible. I think that you have bigger thoughts about her than I do. Yeah. So I do want you to say your reasoning for if that's, I mean.
Yeah, I think she's the best performance of the year.
That's what I thought.
It blew me away.
Best performance of the year out of men or women?
Everybody. It's
Whoa, okay.
I think it's not even like the best performance I've seen this year. We're talking like best of the 21st century. It's incredible. I was absolutely blown away by it. Yeah, there's a reason why she's been so dominant so far. She's going to continue to be so dominant. Absolutely incredible. Last year we had the upset. You mentioned it earlier with Mikey Madison upsetting Demi Moore. I don't believe we have an upset. I was really prepared. I watched If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You First. Mm-hmm. And I remember being blown away by Rose and being prepared for, everybody's just overreacted to Jessie. She's not really as good as everyone said. I don't really know why this has happened because I've done that in the past with other performances in past years. But that did not happen this year. I was pretty much like, you know what? She's this favored because she's this good. Paul Mescal is one of my favorites too. He's a great actor. I thought she completely acted him off the screen, and I thought he still should have been nominated because he was that good, but that's how good she was that she just blew me away.
That is a crazy statement to think about. When you think about it the way you just described it, that is kind of crazy, but she was crazy. Okay, so Rose Byrne, I love Rose Byrne. I'm a big fan of hers.
Yep.
I think that she's had a crazy career where she's gone from TV actress to the worst part in some movies, to now she has this movie where she's nominated for the best actress. She's had a crazy career, and I've been really right there with her through a lot of it. And I am really excited that she got the nomination and that she did so well in this movie, got a real good chance to show out. I think that's really awesome, and I really appreciate the work she did in the movie. But just like he said, Jessie Buckley is incredible. I think though with Jessie Buckley, one thing that I hope will get considered now, I think Jessie Buckley is not a household name in the slightest, unfortunately. And I think the unfortunate thing is, I don't know that this movie is going to do that either. Because if we're being honest, I don't think the general public cares about this movie, which is sad because it is a really good movie. I do think that it's all about emotion. Like the whole movie is fueled off of emotion and how the movie makes you feel because different things happen. And she did such a good job at always showing those emotions. The way you're supposed to be feeling is the way she's feeling throughout the whole movie. She basically tells you the way you're supposed to be feeling. And she just did so good. I really hope though that from here, I'm very interested to see what she does next. because
The Bride's up next.
The Bride is next. Is she The Bride?
She's The Bride.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she is.
Okay, so I'm very excited to see The Bride now coming up next for her. I think that very likely could be the movie that catapults her into, okay, now she's won the award. Now everyone knows her, because I do think The Bride's going to be a big movie that a lot of people, the same sense that how Frankenstein was a huge movie and people loved watching it, I think The Bride, even though it has nothing to do with that Frankenstein, that I do think it's going to be that kind of movie where everybody's super excited to see it. People are talking about it. And I really hope that what seems from the trailers, she's going to be good in it as well so far from what I've seen. So I do hope that that's the performance that next up for her, that's really, because she deserves it. She's amazing.
She could get nominated back-to-back years, to be honest.
And that would be crazy. And I think that, like I said, it's very early. Obviously, they haven't even happened yet. The Oscars haven't even happened yet when we're recording this. But I do think that she has to be an early contender already, just from what you're already hearing about the movie, the way people have talked about it,
Just her as an actress. She's going to be great.
Exactly. So I think there's a decent chance. Yeah, that's probably a decent chance she will get on it again.
Don't get your hopes up, laddie.
But I do hope that we both think she's going to win this. We both think she deserves this. And I hope that this helps people realize how good she is, because I don't think that she's appreciated enough as an actor.
No, not at all.
Jesse Butler.
As expected.
Nobody's
Could you
surprised.
imagine if it hadn't been? That's like got to be one of the most landslided. We all knew that's who was going to win for that award like ever.
But she's been holding her breath just in case.
Yeah, just in case.
Wanted the big one. Now she's got it.
She deserved it.
Now her life has changed forever.
Very excited to see what she does moving forward past The Bride.
Got him!
All right, for what some people call the biggest award of the night, we have the Best Picture. I think that for me, it's kind of easy.
Yep.
I think it's one battle after another. Here's the funny thing. My others receiving votes for me, because I'm voting for it, I think it's going to win. My others receiving vote is sentimental value. I'm telling you, sentimental value was incredible in my mind. I think it was better than Sinners. I think that's a controversial thing to say because Sinners got nominated the most out of any film ever. I know that he loves Sinners, and I love Sinners too, but I think sentimental value, I think just Zach had Sinners up here, I had Sinners here. I had sentimental value up here, Zach had sentimental value up here.
Absolutely.
You could just flop the way we felt about each other on those two movies.
I had sentimental value third and Sinner second. So.
I have sentimental value number 2 here, and I think that, it should get considered. It's not. I don't think it's going to get nearly as much consideration as it should. I think that's really unfortunate. I think, like I said, a lot of it does play in because it is a foreign film. I do think the Academy is getting better, but when the general public doesn't seem to care about a movie, at least in the United States, the Academy doesn't want to give the top award to that movie. You know what I mean?
That's just
it's just the way it goes. The Academy's not going to lean international. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. U.S. based. It's the way it usually goes. It's foreign film. People don't. The general public. I don't know that I've ever heard anyone even really talk about sentimental value just in in just casual conversation, which is a shame.
I think the last foreign film that won that was Parasite. Yeah, people were talking about that.
They were talking about that like crazy. That one that makes sense. Sentimental value, nobody's talking about that movie. They should. It's because it's the kind of movie it is why it's not. Compared to
Sinners in One Battle,
compared to
Parasite.
Compared to Parasite, that's the kind of movie that people are going to get locked into. I get it, but sentimental value for me deserves more recognition than it's getting than what it's going to get. But that's who I'm not going to vote for if I got to vote. But if I couldn't vote for one battle after another, I would vote for sentimental value.
I think One Battle wins too. I will say, like I said, I've been doing a lot of research, listening to a lot of podcasts. People that are in Hollywood are already teeing us off. This could be a year of a split. So usually, director and Best Picture are the same movie. People are thinking this year, because they're so close, because people are thinking Sinners is coming up, it's gained a lot of steam the past month or so, that it might end up being director goes to PTA and Best Picture goes to Sinners. I would give it to One Battle for both. But that's something people are beginning to wonder about. I think what it is, One Battle is this, like you've already said, one of the best movies that's come out in recent memories, the best movie in the past 5 years. People are kind of tired of talking about it. And I think, these podcasts, these news outlets, they want a storyline. So they're trying to make it be like, oh, there actually is competition. when really we all know there's not competition. One Battle is the best movie of the year. It should win, and I think it's going to win. But I just want to prepare people. There might be an upset.
That's a good point. I think that's a really good point. I wouldn't be upset if Sinners won, though. I mean, it's a great movie. Like I said, just because I didn't like it as much as like the top people that loved it doesn't mean that I don't think it was an incredible movie. I think it was a fantastic movie. And I rewatched it the second time, and I was like, even better than the first time for me personally. So yeah, I wouldn't be upset if Sinners won. Wouldn't be upset if Sentimental Value won, even though I don't think it will. I think that One Battle After Another, obviously, so I think it should. I don't think we're gonna just real quick. There's a lot of nominations here, but I think I just want to talk about them at least a tiny bit, because if you get nominated for this, you deserved at least a mention. Begonia, it was great for me personally. I don't think that it's gonna win. F1, I think people would never actually vote for it because they're like, this is a big action movie. It's kind of, they're not gonna vote.
Script's a little weak.
Yeah, they're not gonna vote for a sports movie for that. Frankenstein, I think that it was visually great, but outside of that, the story itself wasn't strong enough. Marty Supreme, do you think that Marty Supreme will get like a decent amount of votes?
I think there's a possibility it could be top 5 of the votes. Like I said, I do think the 3 we've mentioned will be the top 3.
Okay.
And I think Hamnet will probably be either 4th or 5th. So it'll be in that race.
I think that the average person's top 5 was not in order. Was One Battle After Another, Sinners, Hamnet. The average moviegoer, because the average person's not going to say Hamnet, but One Battle After Another, Sinner, Hamnet, Sentimental Value, and Marty Supreme, which I don't think that Marty Supreme deserves in that top 5 necessarily, but I do think that the only reason that I'm like, does Marty Supreme have a chance, is because people liked it so much more than us. I don't want to say that I think we're missing something, but I'm wondering if it just is going to have a much better chance than what we would give it credit for, just because we don't like it as much as the general does. And then Train Dreams, it was awesome. It's not, unfortunately, going to get any consideration. It should get way more than it should, though, because that was an incredible movie. We already told you guys that you should go watch that movie.
Incredible.
It
can only be you.
We knew it. No Sentimental Value. No Sinners getting in there for that one.
3 from 0 to 3.
All right, real quick. You all see who won. I've got to give Zach his congratulations.
Thank you, buddy.
First winner of a game on the channel. The sensei is the winner, as was expected, but the student's coming next year.
We'll see.
What did you think, Zach? What's your big takeaways? What needs to be said?
My boy Timmy really took it, man. He tough night for him. Over and over, he was the butt of the joke. Kind of hard to watch.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but when you stick your foot in your mouth, you're gonna get athlete's mouth. That's what they say. That's what they say. I didn't even come up with that. That's what they say. I did come up with that. But I think one big takeaway, Conan's awesome. He did great.
Fantastic year,
I loved when they were just redoing scenes. That was great. Hopefully we get him next year and it's not Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast, you're great. If you want to give me $1 million, please do. I think I think my only letdown was I don't want to say super, but it was kind of chalk in a lot of, like heavily chalk in certain spots. I think there was just too many categories that there was an obvious winner in. Yeah. I think that was my only big thing that I dislike, and it's like that sometimes, and you can't blame them for that. But
we're too oversaturated with award shows. It's time to just cut it back to, I don't know, just some basics. By the time it gets to this point, you've kind of seen how it's going, especially in certain categories. Like score comes to mind.
Yep.
Jessie Buckley, everyone knew she was going to win.
Even director.
Yeah, director. I mean, he's won every single category across the board. I mean, One Battle's dominated everywhere too. So,
I think my only other thing, I don't want to make an acceptance speech here because I didn't even win, but I do want to just say that I do think there's a couple movies that didn't get enough time to shine out here, and I just want to point out Sentimental Value, The Secret Agent, Train Dreams, and I think Begonia even as well should get a little bit more praise. I think all 4 of those movies are great movies that didn't get to shine a not as much as they should have, and if it was a different year, they absolutely would have. In my opinion, at least.
Yeah.
You got another movie that I'm forgetting there? Or is that about all of them?
I love F1.
Yeah, we'll give F1 some love as well. Zach is definitely still salty that the movie that almost won the most awards.
Yeah, Frankenstein, it won the awards it should have won, but, you know, not a great movie in my opinion.
Well, yeah, whatever. He's never going to come around on it, but we know the truth, guys. All right, we appreciate you. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Keep an eye out because we're going to have more stuff coming on this channel, hopefully a lot more frequently now. We can just go off of this momentum and keep it coming with reviews. Zach's going to be back. We appreciate you being on the channel,
Thanks,
Zach.
man.
Like I said, he's not a guest. He's part of the channel. Check out my other channel, Justin Network Toys.
Great channel.
He said it. He said it. The guy's smart. He won the game. You got to go with what the smart guy says. That's all, folks.